so very thrilled that Aaron Glenn stood up there and delivered that message. I have been waiting for that message for years.
You can never achieve perfection, but you have to believe that perfection is possible.
This is the ultimate seal of approval for me. The ultimate one.
Lions can't win with this group. Eventually, I'm talking about your division titles, which you love, and doing stuff like that. They'll never do it. It will never happen if they can't do it with this group.
Terry, Aaron Glenn, for me, gave me confirmation to everything we had been talking about for months now regarding Brad Holmes, the new culture, the coaching staff. He stood up there in front of his team, and he talked about winning and how important winning was, and he brought up a few players and their time at the collegiate level. When asked Brockers, hey, the year you went to the Natty, how many games did you lose? One, coach. Okay. Going into every game, you knew you could win.
Right. No, you knew you were going to win.
Well, that's when Brockers corrected him and said, no, we knew we were going to win.
Mm-hmm.
And to Aaron Glenn's point, he said, exactly. A lot of what we're building here is nice. We're all doing the good work. We're all communicating. Everything is going well. But at the end of the day, which is something I've harped on for months now, at the end of the day, you have to go out and win. It doesn't matter how well I treat you, Terry. It doesn't matter how well I treat any of you. If you're not winning, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Welcome to the NFL. And not only is it about winning, it's about actually having the legitimate expectation, the feeling, the understanding going into an NFL game. We can win. And not only can we win, we're going to win this game. This is our game to lose. The only way we lose today is if we don't show up. The Lions not only aren't there right now, but they're working towards it, to be fair. But they have never been that, I could argue, in franchise history, ever. A team that walked in every Sunday, we can win. The fans, different conversation. The fans are always going to say they can win every Sunday. Mm-hmm. How they did a poll on Big D Energy the other day, game by game. You know what this Lions schedule was? Or excuse me, the Lions record was at the end of the year, according to the fans?
10-7?
15-2.
Okay.
Why? Because, again, if you ask a fan, can you win this game? Most will say yes. But it's different for a player and a coaching staff to believe that, right? I always use the example of we used to do state champ push-ups, during the off season for high school football. We had no chance at winning states. No chance. But you did them. Because you were trying to get somewhere, right?
Right.
And even when you start the season 0-2 and your biggest rival is coming into town, you practice harder than ever all week for that game. And up until the moment where the clock hits 0, you still have the belief that you could win that game. Now, the good teams have all that, except they win. That's the difference. They practice hard, they're motivated, they believe they can win, and the difference is not only do they believe they can win, they win. And that's where the Lions need to go. And I was so very thrilled that Aaron Glenn stood up there and delivered that message. I have been waiting for that message for years.
I'm sure the Lions never had that message.
Never. I would be willing to put my money on it. They never had that
mentality that we're going to go out and we're going to win every game. Now, I've known teams in the NBA who had that same mentality. You're never going to go out and go 82-0 in the NBA. But there's certain teams, like the Miami Heat, when LeBron James was there and Dwayne Wade, Golden State, they think every game they play, they're going to win. They're going to go 82-0. It's never happened. It never will happen. But if you have that mindset, then and you're good, you'll win 60-something games. You'll be a champion. So you can never achieve perfection, but you have to believe that perfection is possible. For instance, back in the day, and it never happened, do you know what Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas, when they played together, they had the goal of playing the perfect game. And the perfect game was bunch of assists, no turnovers, make all their free throws, make all their shots, and they win the game. Now, it never happened, but they used to talk to each other, and that was their goal. That was their nightly goals, to have the perfect game. Never happened, but they were still pretty damn good. And so I think that's the mentality you have to have in sports, even though the mentality is not or is never the reality.
That mentality, I could make the argument that the 2012 Detroit Tigers had that mentality.
Hmm?
The 2004, hell, that whole era of the Pistons had that mentality. Champions have that mentality. You think the Rams showed up to every game last season thinking, oh, I don't know about this one.
It's going to
Don't
be a
know
tough
about this one. See, again, the difference between the really good teams and the really pathetic teams are the really good teams have the belief, the really bad teams don't. The difference between the really good teams and the average teams is both have the belief, the other have the talent and coaching, the average teams either have one of the two or neither.
Right. But there is something with the bad teams when they play a really good team.
They step up.
They step up. They say, but they don't think they can win that game. Their mentality, man, we're gonna give them hell tonight. Now we're probably not gonna win it, but we're gonna give them hell. So that mentality is important. But at some point, as you progress, you're not out there to give people hell. You're there to send them to hell.
Winning cures all, man. It just does. Winning fixes everything. And when Aaron Glenn stands up there and delivers that message, I'm surprised that never came from Dan. But, I mean, I think we all know what Dan is by now, at least behind the scenes, from what he's given us. High motivator. He tells you the rules, tells you what he loves, what he absolutely hates, and what he won't tolerate. And he's always motivating. But, man, I can't tell you, I got out of my chair when Aaron Glenn started giving that
Did you wave
speech.
the towel?
No, it wasn't even from a support standpoint. It was thank you. Finally, somebody mentioned. I mean, this is one of your biggest pet peeves, Terry. When coaches are introduced into town, what's your biggest pet peeve about them?
They don't talk about winning championships. That's one of my biggest ones. They don't talk about winning. They talk about, we can compete.
And
Or we
when
can
Aaron
win,
Glenn
or we can win some games.
and when Aaron Glenn stands up there and tells you, we gotta take this like evolution here. This can't be the Lions where, all right, let's go see how we do and see how it works. Well, maybe today's our day. No. Every day is your day. You should be expected to perform, expected to win. That's where they need to get. And the fact that somebody finally acknowledged it. Thank goodness. I've shared a lot of optimism with this team, right? Going into the season.
You have.
Obviously a big fan of Brad Holmes. This is the ultimate seal of approval for me. The ultimate one.
You're sipping on the Kool-Aid and eating the cornbread.
No. I am looking at this coaching staff and saying, you know what? Thank you. Somebody has the balls to bring up what we all know. Is it easy to do? No, it isn't. I just said it. The difference between the really good teams and the pathetic teams are one believes in themselves and they have talent, the others don't believe in themselves and they typically don't have talent. The difference between great teams and the average teams or the good teams, both truly believe, but one team has more talent than the other or better coaching than the other. That's it. And as simple as it sounds, I promise you that's exactly how the NFL works. And all you need to do, as hard as it is, acquire talent, have very good coaching, have a very good organization, and the rest takes care of itself. You just start winning. It's that simple. You look at the Bears. We're laughing at the Bears right now. Why? They will go into Sundays this season. No belief in winning. Not much talent. Not sure about coaching. That's not fun. Oh, and their front office, we're making fun of them. So 4 critical things. Compare that to the Lions. You're going to have some belief on Sundays. More than the past through 2, 3, 4 years for sure. Question marks, yes, at coaching. But you're starting to see it behind the scenes. All right, it could work. But it's on Dan now. It's on Dan to go out and win games. The front office you're sold on. And you're sold on the idea that they're going to bring in talent.
All right. And
they're checking the boxes for me.
The other thing they're trying to teach players, just do your job. In other sports, you can step outside of the confines of teamwork and do superhuman things. In football, you just do your job and support the guy next to you. If that happens, then you win. And I think we're getting snippets of Dan Campbell. Just do your stuff. Fill your gaps. And it's the same in the front office. You know, Brad Holmes, do your job. Don't try to be a coach. Dan Campbell, just do your job. Don't try to be the GM. Rodrigo, just fill your gaps. Do your job. The safety, if you're out of position, the safety's got you on this play. So I think they're still trying to instill that with the Lions. Just do your job, and everything will be okay. It's something that the Lions are still trying to learn. Because quite naturally, if things don't go well, you're like, okay, I got to do something superhuman. No, you don't. Not in football. You don't have to do that. So they got to learn that.
They do, and again, talent wins in this league. We all know it's a players' league.
Oh, yeah.
For most teams, but you need the coaching. And I'm telling you, look, Deuce Staley, he's won me over the last two weeks. He has. I think Deuce Staley last season, it was more talk than substance. Seeing him coach the running back room is, I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I love the fact that during the game, after Swift didn't cut inside like he was told, that learning moment, he held up the tablet, and you could see it in Swift's eyes. His body language changed completely. He was like, all right, coach, what are you showing me? Like, where'd I mess up now? And then he saw it. He's like, DeAndre Swift was humbled in that moment. That was like actually a really cool moment for me to watch. But it was, you're right, coach. And then it's be disciplined. Be more disciplined. Be more disciplined. Look, you can laugh. They're 3-13-1 last year. I agree. I agree that they have to go out and win football games. But this group, more than most groups, I would say, over the last 22 years, and this millennial, this is, I think, the best crew you've had. It just is. Granted, not saying much with what the crap you've had to deal with. I understand that. But am I more confident in them right now than I ever was at one given point? With Schwartz, yes. More confident than I ever was under Caldwell? Yes, except after the first year. I went into that offseason really, really high on Jim Caldwell and what they were doing. They obviously took steps back, and the rest is history, but still. They've got something. They do. Whether or not they win is on them at this point. I am done having the conversation of can they, will they, oh, they should. The talent, it's going to be there. Talent's going to be there. You have Brad Holmes. The coaches seem to have a really good understanding of the temperature in the room, in the locker room. And you know me, I'm a big fan of Ben Johnson. There's something there. If they can't win games this season, they can look themselves in the mirror and get the hell out of town. And I'm not talking they need to win 11, 12 games. No. But don't tell me 7 or 8 wins isn't feasible with this group, with the changes they've made, and you go compare them around the league to some of the other teams that we're laughing at. Stop it. In the NFL, if you suck, you can win 4 games. You can't tell me with that schedule, with this team, with the improvements they've made, with the OC they have, with the belief in Aaron Glenn most of you have, this isn't a 7-8-1 football team.
I will say this, young man. If the Lions can't win with this group, eventually, I'm talking about your division titles, which you love, and doing stuff like that, they'll never do it. it will never happen if they can't do it with this group. Because you've already had a history of 60 years of failure. You've had poor coaching. You've had poor management. Now it seems that they have it right. They finally got it right. And if this ends up just being another team that wins 7 or 8 games, never wins a playoff game, then I'm convinced the Lions will never, ever compete for a championship. You got the right mix now. So they got to make it work.